We are live. Okay, I think we are actually live. Hello and welcome everybody. We are at the JVology show and we are with a handful of brilliant and amazing human beings who are going to come hang out with us at JVology Live this week. So on that note, Krista, would you do introductions while I get this sharing thing happening over on my other page?
I actually got a really bad connection. I'll just pause and let you guys take over for a minute.
Okay, no worries. Apparently that's not gonna work the way I thought. So let's start with Joseph, and then we'll do James, and then we'll do Anne, because I want everybody here to know who's who. And for those of you who do not know me, although we primarily share these things on our pages, if it somehow got broader than that, my name is, of course, Jay Fazette. I am the founder, the creator of JVology, the perfect mix of people, fun, and profit. And we have one of the most exciting weeks of our year coming up, which is twice a year we do two things back to back. Our 3-day live event called JVology Live, where we get to teach people the fundamentals of joint ventures. We get to do all sorts of partner invitations. We get to bring in a couple of hundred new people to partner with and to co-create with. And not as if that's not freaking awesome enough. When that's done, then a bunch of our sort of more experienced and talented folks join us out in the mountains for the JVology Summit, which is well, just truly one of my favorite things in the whole universe to do, because mainly what we do is eat, drink, sit in the hot springs, and cut deals that make a monumental difference for all of our lives and businesses, what I'm trying to say. So Joseph, if we could start with an introduction of who you are and who you serve, kind of the 5,000-foot view, and then we'll get through everyone, and I'll finish this little posting.
Sure. So my name's Joseph Marone, and the people I serve are professionals like doctors, dentists, veterinarians, because I came from the veterinary background, getting from a place of confusion, fear, and doubt around their money to being confident in handling their money.
Cool. Put Mr. Lamb up next.
Oh, I'm going up next, apparently. I'm excited about JVology. You'll recognize me because I won't have moved. I will be in exactly the same spot like these other lovely people. I work with five-figure heart-centered entrepreneurs who have an inspiring message but can't seem to get the word out. I work with them on their messaging, on their gifts and superpower, and then we wrap it into a package and get it out to the world in the meaningful way that brings in money.
Cool. Miss Anne.
All right. Fun to be here. And I help coaches, healers, transformational leaders to give their clients the ultimate transformational experience by empowering them to create, fill, and lead profitable and successful retreats.
Awesome.
Fantastic. And I'm Krista Inakovsky. I'm the Director of Client Success and Coach right here at JVology. And I've had the pleasure of getting to meet, well, of course, I had the pleasure of meeting with all of the people in this room very frequently, very often, as they are Flow and Mastermind Blast Off members. So they've been in our community and all they're doing in the world. Gosh, for over a year for James, probably longer than that with Anne. Getting close to a year with Joseph. So, I really love that. And just to let everybody know, we've got a lot of brand new people coming to JVology Live for the first time. And myself and our other coach, Benita, have been doing one-on-one calls, getting to know them and getting to meet who's coming and get them prepared. So those of you who are watching, that's some of you out there, and getting to know where you are in your business and what your passion is in the world and what you're trying to get out there. So I'm really, really excited to be bringing people brand new into the community and then connecting them with pros like James, Anne, and Joseph, who know the ins and outs of how things go around here and are incredibly supportive. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
It is too. And I see Judy Weintraub is here incognito. Judy, I don't know if you can hear us or not, but we'd sure love for you to introduce yourself to the crew.
Okay, well, thanks very much. I thought I had turned on my camera. There I am. Oop, there I am.
Peekaboo.
I'm Judy Weintraub. I am founder of Skill Bites. We do book publishing and ghostwriting for business owners and professionals who are looking to grow their business, get greater visibility and credibility by becoming published authors.
How outstanding. And I also see somebody else whom is dropping in. Wait, you guys are just wandering around the internet and decide you just like say hi? Is that how that goes? Miss Charisse, good to see you, my dear.
Usually what I do, yeah. I kind of roam around, look for links that are open,
We're just doing introductions. Tell people like the 5,000-foot view, who you are, who you serve, all that fun stuff.
Hello, everybody. My name is Charisse. I am a business networking coach. I'm also part of Team JVology, and I work on special projects.
Yes. And just to be clear, working around me is there's a lot of special projects. It's called Clean Up Jay's Wake. Hey, I got an idea. No, whenever I utter those words, whenever I utter those words, my whole team like just cringes and sort of like goes into fetal position under their desk. But they're usually good ideas. Anyway, on that note, my friends, we have JVology Live coming up. Our VIP Mastermind is tomorrow. Our pre-event Mastermind and our VIP Mingle is tomorrow. And then, of course, we go into our 3 days of training, meeting JV partners, doing invitations, creating new relationships, all those things. So I thought it would be, interesting to just ask a handful of questions for folks who might be still sitting on the fence, wondering if they should or if they shouldn't. So my first question is this, and by the way, just because I know who's here, feel free to edit the question or ask your own. So my first question is this. How did you come to decide to participate in JVology Live the first time? Now, because I know most of you have been, the truth is it's so valuable, people come back over and over and over again. But the first time when it's like, truly like, what the hell is a JVology and why should I care? So I'd love to hear from a couple of you.
I'll go. And mine's an interesting story in that, Jay, I've known you for years and I have seen you talk and promote JVology Live many, many times before I actually came in, right? And I had been doing joint ventures for a while prior to that, but I loved what finally tipped the scale was, I think I felt like I was comfortable with JVs, but I felt that there was some of the iceberg I wasn't aware of yet, that I had a feel you could help me see more of the picture and really round that joint venture idea out and put it in as an integral part of my business, not just something that is like, well, I'll do this every once in a while when it's convenient, when I think about it. But with spending time with you, working with you, it is now a very important part of my business. So that's why I came to join after having seen it for a long time and not participating.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Hey, it's so funny. I just finally got it working on my page, and Mustafa's like, "Hey, I want to drop in."
More the merrier.
Exactly. So if anyone else wants to answer that question, I'll get Mustafa a guest link.
Yeah, I was just going to comment on what Anne was talking about. That it's one thing to be interested in joint ventures and to kind of see it done, and there's even some other great communities. But I don't know anywhere else that you get the in-depth training and how-to of all of the facets and details, both for your business and how to be a powerful JV partner than JVZ offers here at JVology. And that's, if you're already doing joint ventures, you hear they're a good idea and you're dabbling in it, it's time to stop dabbling and actually become a pro at this. And this is I think the one and only place to get that level. I see Sharish nodding a lot. Jump in there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was going to answer the question of when I first came, which was actually James's first time as well. We both met at JVology Live a ways back. And I actually was not super excited about going. I was very suspicious. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to get. I met you, Krista, and Jay at another event at Ryan Levesque's Ask Live. And I was like, Jay sounds kind of cool, but also I'm not totally sure about this. Like I was on the fence about the whole JVology organization and the JV idea, but I had got a really good deal on a ticket and it was here in California. So I was like, it's a trip to San Diego. Like it's going to be cool either way. It's going to be fun. And then I got there and I met some of the people in the first, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is like really, really cool. Because what was different in JVology Live from other events I've been to, and I've been to a lot of live events, is that there was this mentality of I'll go first, which is the foundation that Jay lays. There's this attitude of generosity and giving. And it's not just a bunch of card dispensers, you know, where a lot of networking events can be people saying, take my card, buy my thing, take my card, buy my thing. It was not like that. People were like, who are you? What do you do? Who do you serve? How can I help you? There was only one experience that was a little icky when I first got there, where someone was just like, your business isn't big enough for me to talk to you. And I was like, okay, I've made a huge mistake. And then immediately after that person walked away, someone else walked up and was like, hey, you're awesome. You want to be on my podcast? And I was like, you mean my business is not too small for you to talk to me? And it was like, so that person was just a fluke. Everybody else was super cool. And even when we actually got a chance to practice our JV invitations, we got a chance to practice trying to get JV partners. Jay talked about, here's how you do it. And Jay, I remember this time when you were like, do this exercise to write down like an invitation to a particular offer, which I didn't have an offer, so I made it up. And I actually didn't even participate for the first like 15 out of the 20 minutes that we were supposed to be doing it, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And the lady next to me was like, just freaking do it. So I did it. And then he was like, great, now go and practice that. Get up and walk around the room. And I was like, whoa, good thing I wrote something down.
See, and I just want to interrupt for a second, Trace, because I actually remember you. So you were front stage, just to the left here, right and looking. So I 100% remember that whole thing. I was like, I remember the looks.
Yeah, we were suspicious of each other. It was a whole thing. And just walking around and practicing was an amazing experience. And people were so supportive, and people were like, that sounds like a great idea, and giving lots of feedback. I mean, it just felt like a really safe space to grow. And that first JVology Live was so impactful. I've been to every JVology Live since, I believe. So, yeah. Okay,
so just on that, and I know I'm doing a little detour here for a brief moment. So why keep coming back, in your words? Because that is one of the things that, people are, it's like, if they come back, why?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, because there's a lot of conferences out there. And when you find a good one, you want to keep it because they're not all awesome. But I come back for a couple of reasons. One is the chance to meet new partners. Every single JVology Live, there are new people there, and you never know which person's going to be there that's the perfect fit for you and your audience, or that you're the perfect fit for them and their audience. You just never know. So I love coming back to continuously meet new people and bring new partners into my ecosystem. Another reason I come back is that the whole JV partnership space is very nuanced. There's the big picture of find someone with overlapping audiences. Then it gets, it drills down to, and that you like them, and that you have shared values, and that, it kind of drills down. But there's so many nuances in it. And one of the things I get a lot out of, Jay, is when you do case studies, when you do hot seats, when you take people's actual questions and you help them break down their commission structure, or break down just different things where I'm like, oh, I never thought about that. Or, oh, there's a different scenario where that could play out. Or what about a brick and mortar? What about this? What about that? And so I feel like there's always more to learn. And that I only barely scratched the surface at the first JVology Live. I felt very underprepared. I didn't know what to expect. My JV invitation was interesting. It was new. It was fresh. And the second time I wanted to come back and do it even better. And the third time, have a different offer and do that even better. So I think there's just this ability to grow professionally that I get in every single event.
Good answer.
Yeah, that was great. And I wanted to just want to welcome Mustafa. I wanted to kind of piggyback on something that Shuri said, because I spent a lot of time. I always want people to feel comfortable coming the first time, because you don't know what you don't know until you get here and figure it out. So you can do the roadmap, which is a great way to get prepared, but you kind of just have to jump in your first time and know that you're going to come back again. And you got to just kind of just grab it as it comes that first time around. There's really no other way to do it, but just embrace the experience and go for it. Even if you're not, just like you did, Therese, even if you're not completely certain that this is the message or the business, go for it. Pick something, try it. This is your best platform ever to try it out, because you're getting thrown into breakout rooms with real people who are in this industry to get real life feedback. And that's incredibly valuable.
Yes, and thank you, Facebook user.
Yes,
We don't know.
We don't know.
It's an anonymous
they didn't
internet
do the
rambler.
StreamYard approval, apparently.
But I appreciate your words in any case. Yeah, totally. You just have to get thrown in and you have to try it. Here's what's great about JVology Live, though, is it's a safe space to try stuff. Like, I remember maybe 2 or 3 ones ago, I was in a breakout room and they were like, this is my first time. I've never done this before. And I was like, I got you. I've been here. I've done this. Like, it's okay. They finished and people were like, all right, here's some things you could change or tweak to make it more powerful. And they were like, okay. And then the next breakout room, they tried it again and it was even better. And the next breakout room, they mixed some things up and it was even better. And they came back during another part of the event where people were able to share kind of their experiences. And this person was like, wow, from my first invitation to my most recent invitation, it's grown in leaps and bounds because everybody here is actually trying to help me, right? I've been to other JV events where people are just like, whatever. Like, if you're not a good fit for them, they just move on, which is fair. But that's not what this is about. This is about not only helping you find good fits, but also, like, not just finding a good fit in the room, but also just in life. It's teaching the skills. So I really appreciate that anybody can try stuff out and get help from the other people in the room to make your invitation stronger, as well as getting partners.
Nicely put. All right, Mr. Mustafa, you were just wandering the internet and thought you'd drop in, like, hey, send me a link. So
absolutely.
Give people the 5,000-foot view, who you are, who you serve, all that fun stuff. And the question is, how did you come to decide to participate in JVology Live the first time?
You forced me into it. I think you twisted my arm and you're like, I'm joking.
I don't think that's terribly wrong. It was like, it's in
you better
the story. And the story at the time, though, because we had been doing for about 5 years of work almost exclusively in the US. And I hadn't done an event in Calgary in almost 5 years. And there was a whole sort of community of our folks from Personal Best and Creators Code and Mastermind to Millions. And it's like, hey, we're in Calgary. You best get your ass there, or else we'll now be back to Calgary anyway. So I think I kind of did strong arm you a little bit.
Absolutely. No, it was a fun event. And there's a lot of stories which probably don't fit the theme here, but I help coaches and consultants create and implement their one-page marketing plan in 3 days or less. And I saw you guys are talking. I'm like, everybody is here. How do I get in? I want in on the conversation. So
it's okay. That link that I sent you, I just also sent with a link to register for the summit as well. So if you click one, the other one automatically happens. So it worked out okay.
And that's he strong arms me to do things.
Anyone else? Your first time to JVology Live, and then we'll move on to another question. Yes, please, Judy. I saw your hand next.
Yeah, I saw some emails about your 5-day challenge, 5 JVs in 5 days, and I thought, well, that sounds kind of cool if I could get 5 JVs in 5 days. So I went through the challenge, and I think I wound up with about 8 JVs in the 5 days, and thought, well, this stuff really works. I think I'll dive in and find out a little bit more, and went to the JVology Live conference and found that it was really interesting. It was exciting. It was a lot of great people that I met, and I'm a newbie. I've been in this community for less than a year, and I think it's been really powerful for me. Awesome.
Well, we're happy that you're here. And that whole piece, I do love that 5-day challenge of ours. And I mean, it's just a good way to get our feet wet and play a little bit. Good Lord. Hello, Anne. They just keep coming. That's great. Why don't you tell people who you are and who you serve? And the question that we're on is, how'd you come to JVology the very first time?
All right, great. So hi everybody. I'm Ann Hessian, and so I help healers and soulpreneurs who are allergic to sales, and that's keeping them from really being able to make a living and make a difference doing the work that they love to do. So that's kind of what I'm here on the planet for. And gosh, I was actually at the last JVology Live that was actually live, that was in person.
A bunch of you were.
in San Diego, and so I think I heard about it through Alina, and probably a bunch of other people too, but especially through Alina. And so yeah, and that was it was amazing. That's really where I started to I had a brand new business. I had only just started. I had years in business, but I had just started a new thing, literally like the month before. And with the resources and partnership and everything that I got, even just at that one JVology Live, really helped me launch that business. I had a almost $30,000 launch like 2 months later, and or I guess 3 months later. And that business has just been going gangbusters ever since. And most of it has to do with joint ventures. So that's my short story.
Awesome. Okay, so just on a brief note, and this is just one of the things that happens randomly, but when you're involved in the community and you know what people are up to, it happens a lot. So I got a call this morning. Chris and Janet Atwood are doing a 6-episode docuseries on healers, exactly in the context of healing during COVID and those sorts of things. And so I have reached out saying, it's like, I have an introduction if they're open, because that would fit spectacularly well.
Yes,
and those two are smarty pants.
Well, so am I.
I know. I'm aware. That's so good. All right. My next question, and I really appreciate all you being here, so I'd love to hear from anyone else, different perspective, all those fun, wonderful things, is this. Somebody attending JVology Live, what should they do or how should they be in terms of showing up to get the most out of it?
I can go.
Okay.
So I showed up JVology Live in the beginning of COVID last year. And no, it was a 5-day challenge. And I got like probably 40 potential partners. And I guess to get ready, here are a few things that might help. So know your offer and know exactly what you're putting forward. So don't go out there and say, I do everybody for all the entrepreneurs out there, because we don't know what that means. So make it very specific. Have your pricing and your packages ready. So people ask you, well, this is what you sell. How much is it for? You're like, well, it's $500, $1,000, and then make it clear on what you're going to offer them. Like it's 10%, 50%, or however you're going to reciprocate. And I love the idea of what you teach, that you say, go in first. I'm just going to make that say, go in first by listening first. Right? So see what they have to offer, and then you can reciprocate. That formula got me about 40 potential partners, and where we were filling out our event last year, probably throughout the year, through partners and using Jay's formula. And be prepared to listen to Jay and do exactly as he says.
Oh, now you're rounding up, because that was a do what Jay says, not what I did when Jay told me to do it. But I want to be clear about this, because I remember getting a note from you, Mustafa, that we were like, I think on day 3 or day 4 of the 5-day challenge, and you're like, buddy, I'm going to be out. Like I got more people than I can follow up with, like by like way more. It's like, thanks, but I got to bow out just to be able to follow up with the ones I've got. So yeah, that ain't bad.
It's like 5 people. If you're sleeping, you could get 5 people. You know, if you're a little bit awake, you probably could get 10 or 15 or 20.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Okay, anyone else about what to prepare, how to be, how to show up to get the most out of this? I see Anne's hand.
Yeah, I'll go. Now I get to sport the mohawk over here.
you just got to turn sideways, and then there. That's awesome. Actually, in your case, it might not be a mohawk. It might be like a dorsal fin.
That's it. That's exactly what it is. Oh, gosh. So I'm going to kind of go the opposite direction as Mustafa, and that is, if you are somebody who really doesn't really have a program yet, or aren't quite sure what your business is about, then JVL, and you may be thinking, well, I don't know enough, or my business isn't ready. Here's the thing. JVology is a really warm, supportive environment of people who want to see you succeed. So we are there for you, and we're going to be there hold your hand, to show you the way, and just come with a complete open mind so that you're just ready to be. I guarantee if you're haven't really played joint ventures, or even if you have, your mind's going to be blown. And you just open your heart, open your mind, and let go. Oh, Charisse, I love your demonstration there. And then be ready to be open to what you're going to find out things that you never even thought of. So don't come with a specific, oh, I'm only going to be happy if I have 50 new partners. But you know what? All it takes is one pivotal partner that could blow the doors open on your business. So just come with an open mind and heart.
I love that. Anyone else want to weigh in on that one? Yes, please, Anne. The other Anne, Anne and Anne.
Power of So this is something that you're going to hear Jay talk about, but I'm going to precede it, which is this distinction between a retail conversation and a joint venture conversation. And I just want to put it in there now because it's such a critical concept. So retail conversation is when you're talking to people about what you do with the idea of maybe they will want to buy it, right? So that's the conversations we're mostly we tend to be mostly focused on, especially if we're not really being in the JV world at all. So a joint venture affiliate conversation is more about it's don't tell them about your old program. They don't care, right? It's more about what would be what's mutually beneficial for you. Does it make sense for them to promote your thing? And it's a really hard. I bring it up now because it's a really hard habit for people to break, I find. And so if you go in ahead of time with that distinction, all right, this is not a place for me to have retail conversations. This is a place for me to have joint venture conversations, and start to wean yourself before you even get there. You're going to be ahead of the pack of other people.
Huge.
Yeah, I asked him 3 times about that. Do you remember? Yeah. Well, you probably don't remember. I asked him 3 times when I came to the first JVology Live about that distinction because I didn't understand it. So I appreciate you mentioning it.
Let me plant a seed, gang, just so we're on the same page, because, and make no mistake about it, retail conversations occur at JVology Live, but they occur or should occur when requested. Okay, so what this means is that let's imagine I'm going to use Joseph's example. So Joseph is building a fantastic course about financial management, financial awareness, financial beliefs, and creating and keeping wealth. Because creating it and keeping it, not necessarily the same. So now Joseph and I could have a conversation around this idea, and he could say, it's like, hey, you're my avatar. You're the ideal person who could buy this. And he might fall into trying to sell me his program. Except here's the truth. In the JVology environment, we're not there for retail conversations. He should be saying, it's like, hey, Jay, I know that you have a ton of successful entrepreneurs in your community, many of whom aren't necessarily making the right decisions with their finances. Do you think they would be interested in learning more about it from me? And we could do a joint venture where you present the invitation to my course, and we would split the proceeds in some way, shape, or form. That's the peer-to-peer conversation, is that he's talking to me about access to my tribe. I'm talking to him about access to his tribe, and we'll do so in a way that wins for everyone, the clients, for both the partners, everybody's happy. Now, it's entirely possible, however, that he goes through that entire process and I say, yeah, I think we could do that. And by the way, me and the tax department haven't necessarily been getting along so much these days. So perhaps you and I should have a conversation as well. Could you tell me more about the program? In which case he would dive on in and tell me more about the program. But it is upon request, not upon, how do I call it, miscellaneous and rambling sales pitches that aren't welcome at JVology, because it's not the purpose of the event. So I really love you bringing that up, man. Charisse, did you want to add to that? Because I know I jumped in while you were, okay, James has his hand up.
That's what I wanted to say. I just wanted to say I asked 3 times for clarification because I kept being like, what do you mean by retail? But what do you mean by this other thing? What is this other thing? You're talking about your thing. I don't understand. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing to the comment and the question that Jay originally If this was Clubhouse, Sharice would reset the room, but it's not Clubhouse. So the question was originally, how are you going to succeed at JVology Live, right? And one of the simplest points I can give you is just turn on your camera. Like, just turn it damn on, okay? And well, I don't want to say keep it on, right? But like in inappropriate places, but you know, turn it on. That is going to be the best way to build relationships, like bar none. The people who do really well there and come up with deals worth thousands of dollars are the people who turn on their camera, right? I know there's a bunch of people who turn it off and like they kind of like, I don't know what they're doing in the background, but they're not doing JVology, and you can tell. So that's one of the things I'm going to add in there.
That is an understatement in the universe. And if I could, just another thing about this, because I've been doing a bunch of, in fact, James, you and I were talking about an opportunity, because what is interesting about the JVology community to me is that we attract people at all levels of business experience and development. And we actually categorize folks in 3 areas, not for the purpose of you know, as Sharice said, your business is too small. That's not what the purpose is. The purpose is for us to have the right content and the right steps and strategy based upon where you are. You know, if you were thinking about it like rock climbing, is that you got to climb. You got to climb from where you're at, because if you try and climb from somewhere else, then you end up falling. So we have 3 categories: willing and eager, ready and refining, and experienced pros. And one of the things that we are doing is actually separating content based upon business experience, so that we can even have more, I'm going to say, it's not high quality, but more people at a similar climbing spot that can serve and support one another in terms of how that process goes. So even if, by the way, if you're listening, it's like you've been to a JVology Live before, and it's like, yeah, I've been there, done that, got that. Here's what you don't have: the 200 other new folks that are showing up, and you don't have a bunch of new content that we are expressing and streaming, so that you have strategies to apply right away. So I'm incredibly excited about that.
Jay, can I add a couple of things on?
Yeah, sure, please.
So about what Ann said, I suggest people put on their learning hat and put away the teaching and coaching hat. Show up to learn instead of showing up to shine and teach and coach everybody and prove how awesome you are, because there are a lot of awesome people in the room already. And by listening and I think participating, you will do really well. And about what James said, keeping the camera on shows how present you are. Like in the previous workshops, I have literally picked people and reached out to them and said, hey, I want to chat with you by their energy level and how present they were. And if you're not there, that probably is not going to happen. If you're too good to be there or you're too busy to be there, then it's probably not going to work out.
Yeah. And just to be clear about this, gang, I can get a little bit snarky about that. And the thing is, like, if you're going to be here, be here. If you're not, go do something else. Like your half-assed energy is not going to cut it in any way, shape, or form in this community. And if you haven't figured it out already, it's a bunch of smarty pants doing really great work in their unique niches and in their unique world, who come with their A game. So that's how you should show up. All right, my friends, can
I just say, I don't want to scare people to think can't turn off your camera for 5 minutes because you got to go pee. Like, that's fine.
Take the camera with you.
No.
Do not do that.
Although it wouldn't be the
it's
first
not
time
about
that somebody heard me pee on the microphone.
We've all had stories.
Can you tell we have a lot of fun together?
We have a
So
lot
this
of
is
fun
what it's
together.
like.
We have a lot of fun together, and we want you there too.
Yes.
Yes, nicely put. And just, yes, we understand life, and we understand, you know, most of us are working from home with kids and pets and dogs and COVID, and, you know, we get that stuff. And there are, which we got to take care of. But if there's, you know, each day there's generally 4 to 5 segments, and if your camera is off, you know, 3 out of 5, you should probably be doing something else, is the honest God truth. Come back another time when you can fully show up and actually get what we are delivering, which is a business structure and real live partners, because otherwise it doesn't make much difference. All right, my friends, this has gone a little bit long, but it's been a ton of fun because I get to hang out with all of you. I would love to hear a line from each of you aimed at anyone who's like, I wonder if I should, or I wonder if I shouldn't. And we'll close it on that thought.
Ooh, I think, you know what? You see how much fun we're having here together. We love each other very much. We really support each other. I'm going to put it the opposite way. If you don't like having fun, if you don't like playing and laughing, if you don't want anybody in the world to support you in your business, then don't come. But if you do, this is the room. This is where you need to be.
Nicely put.
I like that. I'm going to say it this way. Stop trying to do it on your own.
Perfect.
I'm going to say that it's a lot easier when you have a community and support to get shit done. When you try to do it on your own, like Ann was saying, it is a lot harder. Like our mental capacity doesn't have, mind or brain doesn't have the capacity to figure everything out on its own. So show up, get support, get the love that we're, sharing here. It's so much easier. So much easier.
Mm-hmm. I want to go behind Mustafa because he said get the love, because it's interesting. It's interesting to use those words because I've been trying to say it in a more businessy way. It's like what we build is like an entrepreneurial safety network and all the rest of it. But here's I think you just calling it out is that we all need family that has our back. We all need relationships in our life that has our back. And most of us as entrepreneurs don't have a community that has our entrepreneurial back. And that's what this is. And if you're in that experience where it's like, Jesus, who's got my back? Get your ass here, simply put.
Can I give an example here real quick?
Super fast, because we still got to hear from two more.
Absolutely. 2 weeks ago, I was begging Jay to promote this event. He still hasn't sent me swipe copy. So that's the kind of love that we're talking here. I'm serious. Like, who reaches out to you and says, let me promote you? Are you going to let me promote you? Please send me something so I can promote you.
Right.
Okay. So now I have to go and give Michelle shit.
Poor Michelle.
Because she hasn't been doing anything. The woman's been working like a freaking mad woman. Anyway, Joseph and Charisse.
Sure. So I would say, thanks, Charisse. I would just say that a lot of people show up that are really apprehensive about, I'm not in the right place for this, or I'm not at the right point of development. And just like Mustafa was saying, everybody's there to help everybody else out, to grow and to be in a better place. And like Ann was saying, you have resources there, you have people, and Jay's built a great tribe of people that are just willing to give. So that would be my incentive for anybody to show up that's on the fence, is just like, you know what, everybody's here to help out.
Nicely put.
Yeah, and I'll just say, what Jay talked about, those 3 different kind of segments of types of people that are going to be there, the people who are kind of newer in the JV space, the people who have kind of played around with it a little bit, but they want to get stronger in that, and the people who've been there for a long time. It creates this really beautiful trajectory. So that way, wherever you are, you're going to find peers, and you're going to find potential partners, and you're going to get more knowledge than you've had before. So really, there's no risk in coming. If you're not sure, just try it and see how it goes. Because if you have any interest whatsoever in doing joint ventures, it's not enough just to learn the art and science of it. It's not just enough to learn about joint ventures or how joint ventures work. You also have to actually try to make partners. And it's so much easier to do that in a community of people who are also trying to make partners. If you learn this material and take it somewhere else, it may or may not be welcomed in that other community. So if you have any inkling of trying this as part of your strategy for growing your business, I highly recommend that you come.
Nicely put. It's interesting because I say this and I think that people, it's that old thing of we don't know what we don't know. But I say this in almost every presentation I ever do, is the single most significant entrepreneurial decision that I think any entrepreneur makes is what is the joint venture community that they're going to participate in. And by the way, anybody here knows I'm a believer in participating in a bunch of them. Like, don't just keep it at one. But if you got to start somewhere, I think ours is one of the warmest and most comprehensive to start with. But the truth is that one decision will have more to do with the trajectory of your business than any other single factor. And for those that have never experienced it, it's like, meh. But it is the honest God truth. All right. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for each and every one of you. I cannot wait to hang out with you this week. And let us go have as much fun at JVology Live as we have had here. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.